Well, 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 look who it is. Welcome back to another thrilling edition of the program. In today's episode of We Are Stranded, or I should say my customer's stranded, can you please help me? We have this LDV Delivery 9 van. So the story goes as follows. One of my customers sent me this video and essentially was saying, hey, what's this weird noise? As you heard, it's a bit of a weird sound, a bit of a squeaking. Now, I done the brakes on this maybe 20,000 Ks ago. These courier drivers, which is what this van is used for, essentially burn through brakes pretty quickly on these LDVs. They'll be lucky to get 40,000, 50,000 Ks out of a set. So I thought maybe the brakes are gone, maybe something's happened, let me check it out. So I came here this morning. Now, I didn't record any of it because I'm really smart, but we won't worry about how intelligent I may or may not be. I thought perhaps the brake caliper was sticking. Just to show you what it's doing or not doing. Now, the weird part about this is it's not front wheel drive, it's rear wheel drive. This is just a floating axle or hub. So I decided to remove the brakes and inspect them. And as you can see, the brakes have been removed, but there's nothing wrong with the brakes, which is a bit weird. Now, I don't mean weird as in I expected them to be damaged, because as you guys know, I do a really good job with brakes. But now that the brake caliper's off, it still won't spin, which is annoying. Now there's only one thing left to do, and that's to remove the actual hub assembly that bolts to the rotor, that bolts to the actual knuckle. And with that, that comes off, which essentially holds the rotor onto the hub, but this also holds the wheel on to the knuckle. And there is nothing wrong with this rotor at all. It's still in awesome condition. No lip, no drama, no heat spots, no problem. So now that that's all off, nothing else is in the way, and this should spin freely. Why won't this spin? So with that, I think the wheel bearing is no good. Now I know what you're thinking, Andrew, where are you going to find a wheel bearing in the middle of the night? Good question. Whilst I was here at about 8 AM, the customer told me, funny enough, this happened here, right in front of a LDV dealership. So I thought, brilliant, let's go and get one. So went in there and said, hey, I need a wheel bearing. You're an LDV dealer, can I please have a wheel bearing? They said, of course you can. Unfortunately for you, the parts department is shut today. Well, that's pretty unlucky. I said, do not worry though, I'll give you the number of another place and you can call them. Yo, need a wheel bearing. This should be pretty straightforward, right? You're a parts department. And they proceeded to tell me, hey, yep, listen, the wheel bearing is only $400. It was on loudspeaker so the customer could hear this. And I was like, yep, where are you? When can I come get it? Hey, listen, no worries. It's $400. It will be in 3 days. Now, if you're a courier driver or you know anything about courier drivers, that is way too long. $400 is quite expensive for a wheel bearing. Now, I know what you're thinking. Call up all of the major big box stores. I tried. They cannot get supplies for some reason. Maybe it's just me. Maybe they don't like me, but I think they do, and they couldn't get it. So then I just said to the customer, listen, these are your options. We can do that, or I can contact a few people I know. So I sent this message and said, hey, can you help me out? I ended up giving him a call, and then he was like, yo, I'll call you back. And unfortunately, he sent me this. In one last ditch effort, I ended up making another phone call and sending another message to a wrecker who I knew, because at the end of the day, he wants it done, and instead of mucking around getting wheel bearing that might take 2, 3, 4 days to get, cost him $400 just for the part, I ended up getting this. And this one spins nicely. Well, now the guy actually was like, still on the car, can you pull it off? I was like, cool, what's the price? $150 for the whole lot. I said, you beaut, how many Ks did this thing have? Because you got to remember, these things are only like 3 years old, 50,000 Ks. The customer said, yes, please, can you go grab it? So I did. Gave me a brake caliper as well with it, which I don't need. Ripped that off, Had to whack off the control arm and essentially have to just pull off this hub, and from there, fingers crossed, bolt it back on and we should be good. But man, that low control arm was a bitch to take off. But anyway, we can fix this guy's car. And what's the time? It's almost 8 o'clock PM, if you couldn't tell, because it's night time. And the customer needs this done because time, as they say, is money. So let's quickly change this. So also backstory, I did like 5 jobs today and I only have one of these batteries and it's dying. I need a charger. I don't think power points are readily available in this industrial area, but ah well. Might have to go brute force. This ain't coming off. I'm gonna go see if there's a power point over there. All right, there ain't no power points anywhere. So we got the breaker bar. This sucks. Who would have thought? I charged this thing like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I need to buy another battery. All right, with this pry bar in the ground, this should be easier. Think, man. All right, so had the technique down and pretty much just stood on the actual breaker bar and whacked it with a hammer. Come on. Yes. See, this one spins. Yay. All right, so look, doesn't spin, spins very easily. I'm really unhappy that my rattle gun has run out of battery. But I think the customer is here and he's probably gonna watch. So that raises the stakes. Oh my God, this only has one bolt holding the actual shock in. Well, that makes it a bit easier. This little control arm is going to be the bitch to get out. Anyway, let's try to get this off the old-fashioned way. Hey! Oh. Because everything's going to be Loctite or thread locked on. People don't like when you say Loctite. The rattle gun ran out of battery. You don't have you have an inverter in this? Do you plug a normal socket in?
Yeah.
You do?
Oh, like just like a lighter?
No, you know, like a TV PowerPoint socket.
Oh, no, sorry.
That's all right, man. Old-fashioned way. Now let's hope this tie rod doesn't just spin. Doesn't really matter though, because I can get it out. Leave it on a little bit, so then when you whack it with a hammer, you don't damage anything. As in, whack the knuckle, the side of the housing hub thing. Remove this while we're in here. ABS or wheel speed sensor. It'll be one of the two. There we go. Almost there. Alright, so from what I can see now, it's mainly that lower control arm. And well, when I got to the wreckers, I had to remove the lower control arm and it was a bit of a bitch to take off, to be honest with you. That was then, this is now. And I'm feeling lucky, so let's get this thing off. Take a bar, but I may be able to just brute strength this out. Yes. I mean, I'm hoping the ball joint on the bottom ain't spinning. There it is, same kind of thing. Leave some threads on it, or I should say the nut on, and then you can whack it. And because of the way this is designed, it will actually fall out. I know what you're thinking as well. Why didn't you take these 2 bolts out? Because the other ball joint's in the other one, and the other ball joint is fine, so that's what I'm going to use. Imagine 50,000 K ball joint, 220,000 K ball joint. Let's use the newer one. Right, so I gave it a few whacks, kind of moved, kind of didn't. All right, so it's moving. Because we're going to put the other ball joint in, I'm going to use this. I don't typically use this tool. This will get it loose, but it always damages the boots, so try to avoid using this. Pop. And as you saw, it let go. So let's remove it. Success. We need to line the next knuckle up with this line. Very important. And then clean it down with some brake cleaner because you don't want any of that lubricant sitting on the actual shock. Check it out. It spins. Yay! From there, you shouldn't really have any problems reinstalling this bolt. And with that, we have reassembled it, not completely. Now, what we're going to do is chuck the hub or chuck the rotor back on, and then from there, install these bolts, and then we are probably going to be really close to being finished. Now with these bolts, you do, what the hell? You do want to put some Loctite on. I use the blue stuff, the removable one, or thread lock. Medium strength, so it's about as much as you need if it's focusing. Right, now that all of these bolts that actually hold the rotor onto the hub are somewhat tightened pretty well, I can actually get to them with the wheel off. So that's what I'm going to do when the vehicle is back on the ground in park and I can put much more force on it. So let's put this caliper back on and get the hell out of here. And with that, last but not least, we have to chuck this sensor back in. Now, it spins. So, it's time to chuck that wheel on. Did it do this before?
No.
We on. All right, so that took way longer than it should have because I didn't have any fucking battery ran out.
No, all good.
But it's on now, so let me just lower it down, snug up everything, and then because with these, I'm just going to double mark them so then I know exactly that I triple check them. And then from there, go for a spin, and everything should be good to go. All right, I'll just be probably literally 10 more minutes.
No, all good.
Thanks, man. We're going to go over it twice. And then I'll mark it the last time I do. Because you do not want this hub falling off, because if this hub falls off, your whole wheel falls off. Crisscross pattern. 1, 2, 3, 8. Now remember, I did put thread locker on this, so it's kind of double insurance for it, I suppose you'd say. But I'm going to pack up now and let the customer take it for a spin, and you can tell me if anything is worse, better. So let's do that. Customer's gone for a spin, so theoretically everything should be sweet. I'm just want to get the yes, it feels really good, and then we're good to go, because man, not having rattle guns or spare batteries is a bit shit. But anyway, let's keep cleaning up. All right, customers just got back from the test drive. Mr. Customer, are you happy?
Very happy.
There you go, but you already knew that. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, check out the other stuff. If you want to get in contact with me, hit up this Facebook page here. If you want to buy something from the store, jump down below. And if you want to email me, hit the link in the description and email me. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.